performing today. And the Dow Jones is in a straight line, sort of, I don't want to say it's in a free fall, but it is a straight line down over the last 24 hours. And somehow nobody's reporting that story. Same thing with the US dollar, which has been debased to the tune of about 40% over the last year. That's why you're seeing historically insane inflation levels. But nobody's writing that story either. They write about crypto because it's new, and they assume that the status quo is kind of the risk-free zone. It really isn't. Markets are going down right now because there's a lot of strange things going on in the world.
They would just simply treat crypto like any other asset and label it as an exotic high-risk one. And when the markets go in not the direction they want, they dump it.
Their XRP coin, and just kind of why it's being dumped on a magnitude never seen before. Literally, the funds that have millions and millions of dollars, institutional investors and everything like that, they're dumping it too. But does that mean it's over for XRP, or will it potentially rebound? Because getting sued by the SEC, Securities Exchange Commission, is never a good thing.
Have you long seen XRP as a failed coin? Has XRP done worse than you expect, as it's been unable to exceed the dollar mark and is currently trading around the same price range as it was in June 2019? Whereas its peers like Bitcoin and Ethereum had experienced close to 4 times and 7-time pumps in price from that time to this moment. Adding to the SEC's lawsuit, which has further impeded the growth of this coin, news of that got major exchanges delisting XRP from among their trading pairs. So to many, based on this, it suffices to say that Ripple and XRP is a failed project. And I couldn't agree with you more, but what if you were all wrong about this coin? What if you and I have made a mistake about XRP? What if XRP was designed to be unique among cryptocurrencies? Take a look at this one, people. This was a post on Quora from 2 years ago. A question that's been trending for more than a decade. Should I hold on to XRP? Have you and I made a big mistake about XRP in misjudging the parent company Ripple and its coin? Well, I don't know. You tell me after going through this video. For now, hit that subscribe button and don't forget to turn on bell notifications.
There's a discussion surrounding crypto replacing SWIFT. So we did speak earlier where you mentioned that it's not necessarily about replacing SWIFT, it's about complementing it. So let's get some more information on this.
Okay. I used to work for SWIFT. I was SWIFT for 20 years, so SWIFT is flowing through my veins. SWIFT is the preeminent messaging system for the financial industry, which covers, say, payments, FX, trade, in terms of securities, etc., Nostra reconciliations, etc. What we're looking with the crypto, though, is where SWIFT would have a store and forward system for most of its payment transactions, where you need service level agreements that in a certain time I will do something, but payment turns up at a certain time during the day. Here we're looking at the new network styles, which allow instant, real-time movement to the funds and visibility of those funds as well. So we would not have a situation where banks need to come back to you and say, have my funds arrived? It's 3 days later. I need to find out or find query messages moving around the network. There's nothing like that. I don't believe Ripple is going to replace SWIFT. Ripple is one of the complementary networks, which is going to allow those institutions who need real time to make use of that. And I think we're also seeing that SWIFT are changing their network capability so that real-time will be a possibility as well. But we may also see Ripple XRP moving across the SWIFT network as a currency when we're perhaps using something like FX.
Guys, take a look at this tweet from Markets Mickle. Boom. This is why the SEC is desperately trying to say XRP has no utility. This entire case is a sham, and the SEC knows it. Perkins Coie, a firm that provides representation and regulatory legal advice to a broad range of clients, including some of the big 4 tech companies, such as Google and Facebook, filed a memorandum that aimed to discuss whether and under what circumstances so-called utility tokens would be securities, as defined under the Securities Act of 1933. The published document, titled Investment Contract Analysis of Utility Tokens, was addressed to the SEC's Director of Corporation Finance, William Hinman, Chief Officer of Capital Market Trends, Amy Starr, and Assistant Director Head of the SEC Distributed Ledger Technology Working Group, Valerie Sipanik, back in 2018. And in that document, it says, it follows that there is a right way for token sellers to construct tokens and conduct token sales, initially as a security. But once the token has achieved full functionality, it should be treated as a non-security that will ultimately trade on spot markets regulated under the anti-fraud rules administered by the CFTC. So according to them, the qualified agency to regulate these digital assets and determine whether they are securities or not, and if they should be traded on the spot market, is not the SEC, but the Commodity Futures Trading Commission under the anti-fraud rules. If you scroll down to the next paragraph on that document, it says, in addition to being analytically inconsistent with existing law, categorizing tokens immutably as securities will mean that tokens cannot be used for their intended purposes in the United States. Securities cannot be used in the way utility tokens are intended to be used, e.g. as micropayments for microtasks on a social network. From a policy perspective, it's important that we apply our securities laws in such a way that regulation doesn't cause today's highly mobile workforce to develop these technologies abroad, as many already have, if utility tokens cannot be used for their intended purposes in the United States. Now this says it all, guys.
The key factor is there a third-party promoter here who knows much more about the instrument than investors might? If that's the case, that's sort of an initial indicator that we might have a securities transaction. If people are buying it for investment and for a return and looking to that party for a return, then again, that's an indicia of a security. If you have, on the other hand, a token that's just used in the network for a good or service, and that's why people are buying it, and that service is available and up and running, not under development, then you may not have a security.
And that was a speech from SEC's Director of Corporation Finance, William Hinman, right about the same time frame where he concurs with the statements in that document filed by Perkins Coie, and talks about how a token's utility automatically strikes it off the securities asset list. Yet, the SEC went on to sue Ripple a few years later. Pretty ironic, I must say. Does XRP have an actual utility? Is the XRP token used on the Ripple network for a service that is available and up and running and not under development, just as hinted by William Hinman in that video? Well, let's hear from Ripple's CEO, Brad Garlinghouse.
We started building RippleNet with the thesis that crypto liquidity would eventually be able to support robust global payments, large payments. RippleNet was designed so that customers seeing the benefits of our fiat-based network could flip the switch to ODL once the market was mature enough. And this is exactly...
You might want to ask yourself, of course, XRP might seem like a terrible investment choice given the SEC lawsuit against the parent company on the claims that it is a securities asset and not a currency, which got significant exchanges delisting the coin. However, why has XRP been delisted from these exchanges, especially in the US? Yet, Terra Luna, a verified rug-pulled project, launches its Luna 2.0, which is to be supported by some of the world's largest crypto exchanges like Binance, Crypto.com, Kraken, FTX, BitTrue, and OKCoin, all of which are registered and or licensed in the United States. And in more recent news, the SEC agreed to pay Ripple's attorney an undisclosed amount of fee during expert testimony deposition. And according to one of XRP Army's favorite attorneys, James K. Filan on Twitter, the parties have agreed upon a fee award in connection with the Met's supplemental report and deposition, and the SEC is working with the Ripple defendants to make the required payment. The amount of the award hasn't been disclosed. Meanwhile, the SEC has been trying to prevent XRP holders, led by yet another pro bono XRP community lawyer, attorney John Deaton. However, in the commission's bid to the court to file an objection to an amici request, Judge Annalisa Torres later granted permission requested by XRP holders. As this post right here says, the Bank of International Settlements, cross-border crypto payments need new regulatory framework. And down below, it says the solution the bank offered in its May 20 white paper, DLT-based enhancement of cross-border payment efficiency, a legal and regulatory perspective, is a radical one. Redesign the entire regulatory system to focus on distributed ledger technology, the systems upon which these transactions are carried out, rather than on individual companies like banks and wire transfer services such as MoneyGram and Western Union. Guys, these aren't my words, but that of a world-renowned financial institution, so I advise that you don't take it lightly.
Is one of the features of this the fact that Ripple is going out marketing this to banks and central banks? So, there's nobody marketing Bitcoin, for example. There's nobody. But within this, you've got somebody who's going out speaking to the financial institutions saying, listen, we've got a solution. Because that helps, therefore, enterprise sales. You get more people onto the network in large chunks as opposed to relying on individuals.
I think we have an intraday chart, by the way, of Ethereum. Let's see if we can pop it up there. This is what I'm talking about. So you can see over there, that was after the comments by the SEC. So interesting market action there, right? Whoa.
Yeah, I mean, this is a nascent
This
market.
is why insider trading is against the law, people. Okay? Right here, okay?
I hope you enjoyed the video, but before we go, here's one last thing I want to show you.